Hey guys, James DeVeggia, downtown Rochester Caliber Home Loans. Thank you very much for checking out my video, for stopping by. Not gonna lie, it's a little nerve-wracking. The idea of being on camera, I'm okay with it, but now that it's actually happening, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little nerve-wracking. I'm very new to this whole social media platform per se, but I know that it's just kind of the way that things work, so I'm trying to evolve with the time, so bear with me guys. However, mortgages I'm actually really good at. That I'm not nervous about. Those are things I can talk about with certain confidence. Guys, I've been doing this now for almost 15 years. June of this year will mark my 15-year anniversary. I'm 38, so I've been doing this pretty much my entire adult life. I guess if you call it adult life. But yeah, absolutely love what I do. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a special type of person to do this job. It's a balancing act. A lot of different things going on at once with an individual file, and you really have to kind of balance things and keep everybody aware at all times. The amount of communication that goes on to get one file done, you'd be surprised, but it's crazy. I try really hard to earn that paycheck every month. So mortgages, so scary topic for a lot of people. Anybody that paid attention back in 2008, 2009, the financial crisis, you know, the mortgage was almost taboo back then, right? So I lived through that because I've been doing this since 2004. I'm here to tell you it's really not that bad. Lending, people make a bigger deal, I think, out of what goes into it. So honest to God truth here, guys, you get a paycheck, you put money in your bank, you save up money, you try to balance your debts. As long as you don't have more debts than income, then that component of the mortgage works. And as long as you pay your bills on time, for the most part, we can normally find some type of a loan that's going to work for you. That's obviously a very general explanation of mortgages. A lot more goes into it, but I just encourage people, you know, to apply. Contact me before you get into that apartment. Okay, make a phone call. More times than not, the mortgage is going to be cheaper on a house that you own than the apartment that you're going to rent. Little to no money for down payment. There are programs out there, guys, that offer down payment assistance. You can get into a house, believe it or not, in a lot of situations with as little as $1,000 out of your pocket. When I look at housing and lending, in my opinion, it's just far better to be in a home than it ever would be to rent. Why? Because every single month when you're making that payment, you got a little bit going towards yourself. It's kind of like a forced savings account in the form of equity, right? And you get a nice tax deduction with the interest that you're paying on that mortgage. And if you don't have any tax deductions, that's gonna be the best one that you'll probably ever have. In my opinion, these are just kind of a couple of things that you should be taking into consideration. You know, things that I excel at, in my opinion at least, right? I'm very, very good with first-time home buyers. So why is that? What separates me from the next guy? So first and foremost, knowledge, right? Anytime that you're working with a professional, I think tenure is important. Although lending is not quite what it used to be, in 2008 it has opened up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. You know, I think a lot of people have a misconception in that they think that to buy a home, there's a required 20% down out of pocket in order to get some type of a mortgage. So
it almost seems unattainable to some people who are younger, in their 20s, maybe they're just out of college, they got their first job and they have no idea what it takes and how it happens.
Precisely, yep. So I mean, in this, you're bringing up a great example, Connor. So someone fresh out of school, just starting out in corporate America, mm-hmm. People don't realize, but that education actually acts as work history for you, mm-hmm. Okay? Down payment, in a lot of situations, I can get people into a home for as little as 3% down. Mm-hmm. In the grand scheme of things, we lend to situations that make sense to lend. And I've worked for multiple different lenders, direct lenders, banks, you name it. I can tell you Caliber Home Loans is by far the favorite institution I've ever worked for. This place really does understand how mortgages work, how to get things done. My processing operations staff is truly amazing. They make things very simple. It's a breath of fresh air working at a lending institution that actually tries to find ways to lend money versus trying to fight back and find ways to not approve files. I have an amazing team here. My assistant Rebecca, irreplaceable, truly is an amazing asset, and she helps on every single one of my files. I have a lot of clients that are apprehensive about applying or even having the conversation, and they're overqualified. It's funny, but it actually happens all the time. We do have some pretty creative programs here through Caliber. A lot of stuff with first-time home buyers. I work with a ton of first-time home buyers. I love working with first-time home buyers. Why? Well, because it's more exciting for them. It's the first time they're doing this. Like the idea of owning your own house, right? It's so, I don't know, it's so crazy to think that it's even a possibility. And I just get a lot of enjoyment out of seeing people go through the experience. And it's nerve-wracking, but it's fun, it's exciting, and then that closing date comes and it's like, it's just such a monumental moment in people's lives. And I enjoy having that initial conversation, explaining how taxes work, explaining how your insurance is gonna work, how we qualify for a home loan, and how we can effectively get you into a mortgage with a payment that might be slightly less than you otherwise would have paid to potentially rent a place. All important things, right? So just guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. Not too bad, I guess, for my first time, although I feel like I'm still still a little freaked out here. Hopefully you guys think I did all right, but once again, thank you so much for taking the time to stop by. And please contact me. Let's have a conversation. Have a great day. So I do have a page on Zillow. Fortunately, I did that right a couple years back. In the grand scheme of things, in my opinion, picking the right loan officer and the right lending institution is almost as important as picking the right house. Working with somebody that truly understands mortgages, guidelines, how the business itself works can make the difference in a very smooth and enjoyable experience versus a very frustrating and terrifying one. Everybody's heard a horror story that somebody's had with a mortgage, and I can tell you, just experience-wise, I typically have clients that vouch for me and say they would have a very good experience. I try to get as many clients as I can to obviously go on there and share their experience, but I'm proud to say that I do have a 5 out of 5 rating with Zillow. I don't think I've ever had actually anything less than a 5-star review. I'm sure there's a little bit of luck because to be honest, not everybody's always going to have a 5-star experience, but I think communication-wise, whether it's good or bad news, I always keep people informed. I always keep people informed of the current, status of their loan, and sometimes you're going to deliver bad news, and I think clients can at least respect and appreciate that. We always try to be as upfront as possible. And as far as mortgages are concerned, I promise you it really can be a smooth, quick, painless experience, and that's what I strive to do. I have people that I've been working with since I was 24 years old. I mean, I've watched clients grow, have kids, expand their families, bigger homes, and it's a very rewarding experience when you get a phone call from someone that you did a mortgage for 7 years ago, and they saved your number, they remembered you, and they want to have you to come back again. I mean, that's the best compliment we can receive, right? So I would encourage you to please check out my Zillow reviews, check out my name, just verify, validate the person that you're working with, is a good loan officer, and I really look forward to the chance to potentially work with you. Thanks a lot for your time. Have a great day.